Once upon a time, in a cold and quiet village, there lived a poor young boy named Simon. His clothes were old and torn, his shoes were cracked, and his hands were rough from hard work. Every morning before sunrise, Simon pushed a small wooden cart through the village paths, collecting empty bottles and scraps of metal to sell for a few coins. But the people in the village did not treat him kindly. Some shopkeepers chased him away from their small stores. Children laughed when they saw his dirty clothes. Even adults whispered cruel things behind his back. "That boy brings bad luck," they said. "Stay away from him." Simon heard every word, and though he tried to stay strong, each insult quietly wounded his heart. Still, he never answered with anger. Every evening, after finishing his work, Simon carried bread and medicine to his sick grandmother, who lived in a tiny broken house at the edge of the village. She was the only family he had left. One winter morning, the village awoke to terrible news. A powerful storm was coming. Dark clouds swallowed the sky. Strong winds shook the trees. Shopkeepers rushed to close their doors, while families hurried inside their homes. The village leader warned everyone to stay indoors until the storm passed. By evening, heavy snow covered the narrow village roads. But during the storm, something unexpected happened. An old wooden bridge near the river collapsed, and on the other side of the river lived several families, including small children and elderly people. They were now trapped with no food, no firewood, and no safe way to return to the village. The storm grew worse each hour. Nobody wanted to risk their lives. The villagers gathered nervously inside the small meeting hall. "We should wait until morning," one man said. "It's too dangerous tonight," said another. But Simon stood quietly near the back of the room, listening carefully. Then he spoke softly. "I know another path through the forest." The room became silent. A shopkeeper laughed bitterly. "You? What could a poor scrap boy possibly know?" Some villagers nodded in agreement, but Simon did not argue. "I walk those woods every day collecting firewood," he said calmly. "There is a narrow path near the old hill. It is dangerous, but it can still be crossed." The village leader looked uncertain. "Can you guide us there?" he asked. Simon looked toward the storm outside the window. Then he nodded. "I can." Soon, a small group followed Simon into the freezing night. Snow whipped against their faces. The wind howled through the dark trees. More than once, people slipped on the icy ground, but Simon kept moving forward without fear. He knew every stone, every broken branch, every hidden turn in the forest path. After hours of struggling through the storm, they finally reached the trapped families. The children cried with relief. The adults stared at Simon in shock. This poor boy, the same boy everyone mocked, had saved them. Simon helped carry food, blankets, and firewood back through the forest path all night long. By sunrise, everyone had returned safely to the village. The storm slowly passed, and for the first time, the villagers truly looked at Simon. Not at his torn clothes, not at his poverty, but at his heart. The village leader stepped forward in front of everyone. "We judged this boy without knowing him," he said shamefully. "While we mocked him, he quietly became the bravest among us." The villagers lowered their heads. Some even wiped tears from their eyes. From that day on, everything changed. Shopkeepers greeted Simon kindly. Children no longer laughed at him. Neighbors helped repair his small house. But Simon himself remained humble. One evening, His grandmother asked softly, "After all the pain they caused you, why did you still help them?" Simon smiled gently as he looked toward the peaceful village. "Because kindness should not depend on how people treat us," he said quietly. "Otherwise, the world would never become better." And from that day forward, the boy everyone once hated became the boy the entire village respected most. Because sometimes, the people we judge the fastest are the ones carrying the kindest hearts. If this story touched your heart, my friend, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe for more emotional and meaningful stories that inspire peace, strength, and humanity.